All right, and we're back. So this is our Order podcast, and today we have a guest visiting all the way from Miami.
Welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you for having me.
So Katie Fussell is an esthetician and laser technician from Miami. We met at a ALMA conference
Yes.
a year ago.
Last year.
In San Diego.
Yes.
We hit it off. We had great conversations. We saw each other again in Orlando. Talked about some collaboration, and you're here on your birthday weekend
Yes.
visiting Aura Dermatology. So tell us about that.
No other place I'd rather be. Yes, I am super honored to be here. Thank you for having me. And I am super excited to finally visit your office. I know we've had a lot of conversation, and I thought if I'm in town, I might as well come visit. So, and I'm also being able to spend time with family and friends throughout the weekend. So
So what are your plans?
My plans this weekend is to spend time with friends and family. Definitely gonna hit some rooftops and some museums as well, and Central Park for sure.
Oh, yeah. So beautiful in Central Park.
I love Central Park, but it's super hot, so hopefully it cools down.
You're used to it. You're from Miami.
I
right?
know, for sure. But
I know. So skincare wise, this is our first time doing the podcast, and we just thought, okay, we do a lot of things here. We obviously would love to share a lot of what we do, but we also want to hear about what people are doing in other parts of the country and other parts of the world. Tell us about your skincare journey, how it started. I know you're in Miami,
yeah.
so there's some challenges that there's obviously a lot of competition. There's obviously weather and sun and all these things that we kind of caution our patients about. That you guys make it look easy down there. So tell us about how you got into it and a little bit about your journey.
So my journey into skincare, I went to esthetician school, and while I was in esthetician school, I really got, intrigued with skincare and how to make my skin better, etc. Because I had a little bit of acne when I was a teenager, and then obviously I got introduced to lasers, and that was a whole new ball game, which is my favorite thing ever. But in regards to kind of learning about skincare and being able to branch it off and to help others learning about skincare is honestly just obviously school, but also doing it myself and doing the lasers and experiencing, from providers, asking a lot of questions. I spoke to you earlier about what would you recommend for, family member skin, etc. So I think just trying the products, and honestly, I'm a simple girl. I don't like too many steps in my routine, and kind of saying, wow, like these things actually do work, and I'm able to get my skin from one place to another. So I want to be able to do that for others as well. And just overall being able to educate and add value to people's lives is really important to me.
So would you say for you, just your own journey, personal journey with acne, is that what kind of sparked your interest into aesthetics? Or was this, you went to school for something else and then you're kind of like, that's not really feeding my soul. I want to try, I do love skincare.
Right. So I actually, 18 years old, went off to school. I started studying psychology. So I was really intrigued with people and getting to know people and etc. And then year 2, I had taken a gap year. I took a break. I was kind of like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So while I was working in the meantime, I realized I've always had a thing for beauty and I've always had a thing for medicine. So I was like, let me just go into esthetician school. It wasn't too expensive compared to traditional college, and it wasn't a long program. And while I was in there, I kind of just sparked my interest into lasers and really the treatments, because while I was there, I was learning a lot about eyebrows and lashes, but I was super bored with that. So I was like, let me go ahead and branch off, and I started working for a doctor, Dr. Moist in Miami, and it just kind of went from there. And to think back, I never would have thought I would be where I am today, because I started, studying psychology, and here I am involved in aesthetics in every direction. But, I went back to school. I have my associate's degree. I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's in public relations and marketing. So, but I would love to also branch out and bring skincare and aesthetics to everywhere. So,
Nice.
yeah.
That's incredible.
So laser wise, I know different states obviously have different laws. In New Jersey, estheticians are not allowed to do laser. How do they allow you to do that in Florida, or is there a specific course you have to take, or what's that certification process like?
Right. So same in Florida, you have to go to laser school separate from esthetician school. So they're two separate licenses. And it took me about a year to get my laser license, but it's totally worth it. So, yeah.
So here, at Aura Dermatology, we treat a ton of skin of color, and I feel like for us, we're constantly having a conversation about avoiding sun exposure 2 weeks before, avoiding sun exposure 2 weeks after. We're sticklers here. If I see a little bit of tan, I think Dr. Veda can attest. We're like, no, we got to reschedule the appointment.
We like to play it safe.
Right,
we don't want to treat one condition and then cause another. But obviously in Miami, that's a little bit tougher.
Right.
So how do you navigate that obstacle with sun exposure, especially when you're doing so many different types of treatments, lasers on patients of skin of color?
Right. So it's definitely like it's stressing to the patient, making sure that they completely understand the risk involved. Hyperpigmentation. We're dealing with hot sun every single day, even when you go to the store. So a lot of conversation about 14 days, absolute no direct sunlight. And also, you don't want to be spending a ton of money, such as lasers, etc., and then going out in the sun and ruining what we're working on. And then we also get them on really high grade skincare. So skincare is an absolute requirement for our lasers as well as our microneedles. So any of those medical grade treatments, you're not walking out without our skincare, because we want to make sure you're compliant at home as well. And we also want to control that result to make sure that, hey, listen, even if something does go wrong, we do have the proper skincare that can kind of help that boo-boo. But in our office, we actually don't pre-treat. We just make sure that they're absolutely compliant. But that is a huge issue.
And how do you ensure that they're using the products? Do you package that as part of the treatment plan, or is it something that they have to purchase?
So I've seen it done in various different ways. I think whatever works best for your office, go for it. It depends on your patient demographic. It's, depending on how you want to market it. If you want to market it just inside the package, then go for it. That's less conversation, and maybe they feel more valued as a patient. But in our office, we personally just don't include it because we do want to make sure that, hey, listen, even if you stop your treatments, we want to make sure you're still getting those skincare and you understand the value of it, because we're not necessarily having you do treatments all year round, but we want to make sure you're in love with your skincare. So.
When you have a lot of tools at your disposal, you want to make sure that you try them, you like them yourself. I know we like to try every single thing that we buy, and
yes.
a lot of times we don't have time to do it all, but I wish I did. But out of every laser that you do, and I know you speak or you've been part of the Alma conferences, you have non-Alma devices like Clear and Brilliant. Like, what is your absolute favorite laser you do, and why?
Oh, I love this question. Well, they obviously do different things. So I would say from Alma, my favorite laser from Alma was probably the Soprano Ice Platinum, the laser hair removal. I know everyone has a lot of hair, and I think that really changed my confidence. I'm just low maintenance overall, so it just makes my life easier. But then for resurfacing and skin texture issues, I would say Clear and Brilliant, even though that's non-Alma. I just think the way that it's so easy to use from a provider standpoint, I'm not worried about as many things, say with the IPL laser or a CO2 laser, but I also like the results too. So
we started, Clear and Brilliant was one of our first lasers, I would say, and it's such a great laser because, to your point, it's user friendly, so you could train on it pretty quickly. The risk of any complications is very, very low, and you see the results within 5 to 7 days. Your skin is absolutely glowing.
Right.
I think they used to call it the red carpet laser because Hollywood was using it right before the Oscars or the Grammys, and your skin definitely has a beautiful glow for about 3 to 4 weeks.
Do you remember when we first demoed it?
Yes.
My poor wife, I love you. We treated her on high in my family room with no numbing.
No.
Yeah.
Because the rep said, "Oh, don't worry, people do this without numbing all the time."
Yep.
So my poor wife was the guinea pig.
Yeah.
In my family room on our couch.
Yes.
We had the laser on the side table on high mode in the middle of summer.
No.
Yes.
Because we opened at the end of July, so
Yeah.
we're demoing these things in June and early July.
Yeah.
She had left afterwards to go grocery shopping or something, and she's
How?
like, "My face is on fire. My face is in front of the AC vent. Like, what did you do to me?"
Yeah.
She loved the result afterwards, but we learned from that.
Yeah.
very quickly.
I will say to this day, because I cannot do Clear and Brilliant without numbing for at least 20 minutes.
100%.
I say she's one of the strongest women that I've ever met because on high 4 passes. And she didn't, she flinched so you're like, oh, it's fine, it's tolerable, because she was like, oh, that, it's a little bit of heat, it's a little, and then when I did it on myself, or Dr. Veda did it on me, I was like, oh my God, this is.
I think you tried one pass on my forearm at high, right?
You jumped.
It was one pass, and I was like, no, I'm done.
Yeah,
I
she's
still haven't
Superwoman.
done it to this day.
Yeah,
I
it's
still have to do
super
it.
spicy.
It is spicy.
spicy.
But the results are worth it.
Yeah.
And so that's why we try to make it comfortable for the patient.
Yeah. but post laser, I'm like, my face is on fire. I'm not gonna make it. Yeah. But
so when your patients come in for your consult, you obviously talked about skincare, you talked about lasers. What kind of like maintenance do you tell them? Because obviously, you know, with sun and all these other challenges, you know, with being in South Florida, maintenance wise, do you have them come in every like 3 to 6 months to see you? Do you have them do regular skin checks, you know, with your other providers? Like, what's your post procedure care like?
Right, so I always try to recommend obviously a series of treatments, and at least we know we're going to see them for X, Y, and Z dates. And say once they finish that treatment series, I always schedule a 4-week follow-up. Especially if I've been seeing them for that entire time, I just want to make sure your results are still great. And then at that 4-week follow-up, or a few weeks out, I do a skin scope, which is the Visia, and I really go in there and I show them before and afters, and I show them, hey, listen, we've reached maybe a 40% improvement. We can do, let's get to 70. And oftentimes they're happy and willing to do so, but say if they're not up to, say, doing another treatment with downtime, I get them onto facials and I get them onto dermaplanings. And we actually have a specialized program in our office, which is a membership based, and it's $290 a month. You get a facial, a vitamin B, and a dermaplane, and that way you just keep coming back for maintenance. $290 a month is totally doable for everyone, and that way I know I'm going to see you twice a month. In that twice a month, that's every single time I'm going to see you, maybe that opportunity to get you on another treatment. So it's really about patient retention as well as skincare. I know guaranteed that our skincare is going to work for you and you're going to love it. So that gives me confidence as a provider. You're going to come back at least for your skincare, because why wouldn't you? Because the results are there.
Yeah, I mean, patients ask us all the time, like, why can't I just buy this over the counter? And why can't I just, get this on Amazon? And our answer is always the same thing. Like, look, medical grade skincare speaks for itself. It's medical grade for a reason. The price is that way for a reason, right? There's, many instances, a lot of FDA studies or just clinical studies, rather, not FDA studies, but clinical studies backing their claims, and important for us to just stress that as the professionals.
Exactly. And I think it's an easy pivot, right? Because you're spending all this money on lasers, that yes, medical grade skincare is going to be a little bit more expensive, but you're protecting your investment essentially.
Right. And I think also it's kind of figuring out what works best for them, because a lot of patients are like, oh, I've never used an SPF. What is that? Or like, oh, I don't want to, go ahead and put 15 creams on my face. Okay, let's do, a lazy girl regimen, and really make it fun and just make it work for them. Because I think sometimes it could be overcomplicated, and that really just makes people not want to do anything. So making it work for them.
I have a question for you. So, being in skincare aesthetics, I know, there's always TikTok. Some product goes viral on TikTok. Somebody on TikTok is telling you to do this versus that. And I feel like as providers, we hold licenses, we do our research, we try products on ourselves. We read some of the clinical trials, and then, they come in and they're like, well, I saw this on TikTok.
Right.
How do you, besides like sometimes just like, rolling your eyes and saying, So, and some of the stuff there is great. Like, we love that product, Cicaplast, and I remember it was viral on TikTok and we couldn't even order it for quite some time. But sometimes some of the stuff that you hear is like, I can't believe that this is trending on TikTok. How do you kind of combat those conversations?
Right. So TikTok University, I like to say. Everyone has a degree at TikTok University. So I would just say, honestly, if somebody presents something, whether it's on TikTok or any social media, I first evaluate it for myself. I think about who's producing this information, what are the credentials. I don't immediately want to jump into the situation of thinking, oh my God, it's TikTok, it's a lie. Because there's a lot of doctors and good information on TikTok as well. But I like to just be honest, review the information. What are the sources? What are they teaching? And then kind of taking what I know, what we've been trained, and what we know scientifically, and kind of being like, okay, I know this is what you see, but based on what I know and based on what I study. And I also like to take it as a learning point. I'm not going to teach you marketing or any of these things. I'm just going to teach you the actual science, and you take it what it is. Just add value and educate, and never belittle anyone, because I also appreciate when people are researching online, because now I know, hey, listen, there's something crazy going on the internet.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out. But
so they're your eyes and ears.
Yeah. But some things are good too on TikTok, and people sometimes bring that up too, which so I kind of pivot it in a way that I teach them something, or they teach me. Yeah.
Now in your short time from deciding you want to go into skincare to now mastering everything that you're doing, I know you've taken that one step further, and you recently wrote an article just kind of giving advice to people that are, you know, maybe in your shoes or what you were 5 years ago, considering that first step into skincare. And tell me a little bit about that and how you came about writing that and what kind of traction it's gotten since then.
Right. So the article I had published on LinkedIn is basically steps to get into medical aesthetics, but I think it's applicable to every single, industry. But basically I talked about if you have a goal and you want to get into aesthetics, a lot of people reach out to me personally and they say, oh, but I have no experience. I'm like, that's great. You have a drive. You want to learn something? Let's teach you. I always think start from the bottom. I started literally, I went to a conference. I didn't know anyone. I didn't even know what Alma was. And I even, I just met someone in the bathroom. I was so nervous when I got to the conference. I just went straight to the bathroom. I didn't know anyone. And I ended up meeting a doctor, and I was just like, I like your outfit. And she's like, I like your outfit too. And I was like, where are you from? And we ended up, I ended up sitting with Dr. Moise, who, started my career. And basically what it was if you want something, just start a conversation. Just go where you know those people are going to be. Throw yourself out there, even if you don't know. And also, fake it till you make it. I think that, I told them at the time, in real life, I was 1 week away from finishing aesthetic school, but I presented myself and I said, hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm an esthetician. So I think sometimes just putting yourself out there and also, networking, starting at the bottom. I got a job making $12 an hour living in Miami. It was really hard. I would make pasta for the entire week because it was the cheapest thing I could afford. But I knew that, don't chase money at that time, chase the vision, chase education, even if it was going to be, I can't afford anything right now. I know I'm going to go to school and I'm going to just eat my ramen and it's going to pay off, and it has. But I just think networking, putting yourself out there, starting from the bottom, and just chasing education.
I think you said something so key. It's don't chase the money. The money will come if you chase the passion, chase the dream. And I think that if you're very dedicated and focused on the dream, the money will always come. But what's happening is we're seeing a little bit of a change in the landscape with sometimes with people coming in and saying, well, I want to make this, but it's you have no experience. Learn, make sure you're passionate about being in dermatology. We hire people all the time. And sometimes, they come into derm because everyone loves derm, loves aesthetics, it looks pretty, it feels pretty, and then they come in and they're like, oh wow, this is a lot. And
day-to-day is a grind,
It's really a grind.
It's not as glamorous as it looks always.
Yes. And I think that they, often are like, well, I want to get paid this and I want to get this done, but they have never done their homework. They don't have the experience. And I think the confidence comes with experience, so it's putting yourself out there. How do you network well? How do you, how do you hold a conversation? And that doesn't come if you don't have experience, but you could get paid $20 an hour, but if you have no experience, you're going to be stuck at that $20 an hour for the next few years.
Right.
And really, truly be unhappy.
Yeah. And I think that if you love something, just, go old school, go and network and go into that office and say, can I speak to your manager? I'm so-and-so, here's my paper resume. I think that people are sometimes so, social media driven, and it's oh, well, they haven't called me back. Okay, we'll follow up with an actual in-person visit. If you want something, go for it. So, yeah. So
I know you talked about collaboration. You're here now. We definitely would love to collaborate with at some point in the future, but what does your vision board hold? And maybe Aura Derm Miami?
I would love that.
Maybe. So my vision board, I have 1 year left in my bachelor's. I definitely want to finish that. I want to stay in aesthetics. So I definitely have a vision of being able to kind of be a voice for aesthetics, whether that's teaching the next generation, consulting for businesses, which I've already helped, certain individuals with that, but just giving back to aesthetics. I don't know exactly the exact route I'm going to go, but I know it's definitely going to be in the clinic and outside the clinic, because I love the office, but at the same time I want to be able to have a bigger impact, not only just in the patients' lives, in that simple interaction, but I want to take it to the next level. I would love to educate and, kind of make a voice for aesthetics in every way.
Where your passion is very, very evident.
Thank you.
We really, really hope that, in whatever path you choose, that you continue to achieve the success that you've already achieved.
Thank you.
And we thank you for spending time with us on your birthday weekend.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
It's an honor.
And as always, any collaboration, we're always here.
Yes.
Door's always open.
Door's always open.
I'll be
Great
back.
birthday.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
And we hope to see you soon.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in. And until next time.